Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's your boy Mickey Fenty, aka Mickey Made It. If you're new to this channel, you know what to do to this channel. Subscribe right now. And if you guys want to support my brand, it's inspiredbydreams.shop. Okay, today's episode, I'm bringing this episode to you because we formulate these conversations, and as you guys know, we talk about them on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays on my morning show. But I'm bringing you this conversation just to give my viewers an open mind on parenting, an open mind on their kids, and just different perspectives that maybe you guys can attach to or relate to that can save you a whole lot of mental energy as well as money. So let's go through it, see these different views, points of views, and you guys leave your comments down below. And if you guys are going through any similar things, join us in the conversation Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, okay? Love you guys, and leave your comments down below. And if you're new to this channel, you know what to do to this channel. Subscribe right now.
Are their biggest number one haters? That's
Okay,
my oldest. She says, "Mommy, why are you trying to be earthy all of a sudden?" I'm just like, damn, you a hating ass heifer. Can a bitch evolve?
I don't know why this kid hates me. I don't know. But she hates me. Cause why do you keep doing this to me? At this point, it's like she's bullying me. Y'all, today was show and tell at Kai School. I thought maybe she'll take one of her little dolls or something in there. But no, that ain't the case. She had to take some shit that belonged to me. This teacher called and said, "Hey, come to the school." I said, "I'm so damn tired of the school. I don't know what to do. I be at the school more than I be at work. Can somebody cut me a check?" But I went up there anyway. When I get there, I said, "What did she do, Teach? I'm really sick of it." She said, "Well, today was show and tell day." I said, "We got that memo. We sent something with her. She went in there and picked out a toy or something." She said, that ain't what she brought." I said, "What are you talking about?" She said she got up there and said, during her show and tell moments, when it was her time to shine and the spotlight was on her, she said, "I brought this for show and tell because y'all kept saying that us girlfriend was a boy. And I wanted y'all to see that she was a girl." I said, "What the hell she bring?" Now, as being a stud, most of y'all would think she brought, the strap or something like that right there. And I was like, I know damn well she went into my closet and got nothing up out of the sexual. So I said, what could she have brought? She done went in there and got some of my period panties and my bra. Now, I shop at Lane Bryant. Them bras is high. I got a big old chest. Them some $100 bras. Them damn bras is expensive. She done took my damn bra in there and opened it up and said, "I told y'all that us girlfriend was a girl. This is her bra. It's a slingshot." She shooting shit with my damn bra. They passed it around the class talking about some, "Excuse me, Mom?" Looking all surprised and stuff because of the size of it. But my period panties is what got me. I know you ain't went there and got my new period panties. I just went in the store and bought them while wasn't nobody in there. Cause I be ashamed to get them. I know you ain't got my good panties with the flowers on them. I know she did, but she did. When I tell y'all I'm tired of being bullied, I'm sick of it. Somebody help me, please.
Now look, sometimes your kids make the bad decision, but they're still your kids.
Am I the only one that feels like your kids are some of your biggest haters? When I tell you I am suited and booted, okay, I am ready to go and tickle the funny bones of the good people at the Arlington Draft House in Virginia, I decided to take a little photograph pre-show before I go. And I had my 17-year-old child take a picture of me. And she said, "Oh, Ma, these are so good." She said, "I took about 100 pictures of them." And I said, "Oh, thank you, child." Different poses, some candids, all that good stuff. And then I just went through and looked at the 176 pictures that my baby just took of me. And when I tell you I look hideous in all of them, like, if you don't want me to look good when I go out in these streets, just say that. Don't be hyping me up behind the camera, making it seem like you took some of the greatest pictures this world will ever see, and now I can't post none of them. Ciao.
And every time my child comes home, my child tells me they hate me. What do I do? Let me explain. I went through this because, like I've said in the past videos, I was in a narcissistic marriage for 23 years. And I went back and forth where I...
Co-parenting is completely different situation, but it can get different and difficult for parents. Pay attention.
Was kicked out, or I left, or whatever the case, and there was a lot of co-parenting happening in those stages. Now, the narcissist is going to go out of their way to hurt you in every way, shape, or form. And if you're not living under their roof, they're going to get to you somehow, some way. And more times, they're going to start with the child, and then they're going to progressively try to do other things, because they're never happy with just one. Now, my kids would come home and start calling me by my first name, not by mom, as if I was nothing. I was no one to them. And then it would be, I hate you. And I want to go live with so-and-so. And I don't want to be here. And I'm not eating that. And you're stupid. And there were times where I would sit down to help the kids with their homework and it would be like, you don't even know what you're talking about. You're stupid. You're dumb. You don't, this isn't even, whatever. Like, why are you trying to help? We both know you're stupid. So I was getting the abuse that I was enduring while I was in the house, now from the mouths of my children while we were co-parenting. And this went on back and forth for many, many years. Because if you've been in the narcissistic, abusive relationship, you know, you leave, you go back, you leave, you go back, you do it a whole bunch of times, because a lot of the time it's not even your option. It's not even your choice. To a point where now you're stuck. So dealing with that on a daily basis, back in the day, it would take me down. It would take me down, it would hurt my heart, and it would make me feel so invalidated. And it was a narcissist that was making me believe that without him, I didn't have a family, I didn't have a title, my presence was not needed, and that I was nothing and no one. And the only way that I would have any type of validation for who I was is if I was with that person. And once I realized that's what was going on, because again, this is a process of learning, I approach situations much differently. And when I would hear these words, I would say, okay, if that's how you're feeling, that's fine. I'll come back and help you if you need anything. And I would ignore that behavior and replace it with positivity. So if I heard something negative being said to me or coming at me, I'd replace it with a positive and be like, well, I love you and I hate you. Okay, I love you. What would you like for dinner?
Morale was just non-existent. When you're in a space of people playing mind games with you, and that's why I said I needed to have this conversation with people of intellect, so I didn't have to state so much of the obvious. And that's no shade to you, Jeremy, or anyone. And even though at times I feel like my kids hate me, I'ma stand by them. And that is due to therapy. Therapy has prompted certain thoughts, certain considerations, understanding, when you're also getting someone on the outside trained to look in and dissect and unpack trauma and help you identify it and deal with it. I am fully aware of why my kids are the way they are, and in a nutshell, it comes down to them being spoiled and ungrateful. I have something to do with that, to an extent, because they're getting older, right? And they're gonna have certain experiences where they see see an experience when they feel like they're not being appreciated. My kids are not mean to me. They do bullshit, but they're teenagers. And that's another reason why I had said in earlier videos, you have to fit the criteria for this discussion. Even if you're on the outside looking in, you have to frame your mind around the criteria that I outlined, which was I have two 16-year-olds. They're twins, and I have a 20-year-old son. The twins are girls. So they're on the cusp of
they already know right from wrong. Like, we're not gonna question that. They know right from wrong, because just like when we play ourselves, we will do certain things to maybe not outrightly acknowledge that we played ourselves, but you know what I mean, right? Again, this is the internet. I can only give you the surface. My main issue is, despite how much conversation I've had with these kids, despite addressing the fact that they did not see majority, if not any, of the abuse, trauma, lies, deceit, even when my ex-husband foreclosed on the house. My kids were 9 and 14 at the time. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, right. 9 and 14 at the time, right? So that is not something that they would have been conscious of or aware of. I dealt with a lot, if not all of it, internally. My ex-husband, a year after getting married to him, he was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. This man did not want his family to know, anyone to know, and the kids were far too young. They, in a nutshell, because I need to move on, they don't have a lot of knowledge of what took place and what a hardship and strain this relationship was back then. Within the last 3 to 4 years, I've had constant conversation of what my experience was or has been with their father, i.e., my kids live with me. I went to claim them earlier this year. My returns were rejected because he claimed them, all right? He's a manipulative, deceitful person. However, through that, this man is able to be an amazing father to those children. So I don't know if that's a part of the manipulation or this character that he has. If it is a character, he does damn good at being team dad, because my 3 kids are definitely team dad. And I also don't put them in a position to choose me. I was looking for consideration. It's bigger than the gift. But I'm the kind of person that a small thing can send me on the internet doing this, right? What upsets me is their lack of consideration of my experience. And it's similar to how he denies the things that he has done to me, the things that I can look back and say, it's right here, this happened. He will deny it and make it seem like I am crazy, right? And I have friends and family members who have witnessed it. They see it now because they're older and now can think back. I think my kids still need more time. Yeah, so it's definitely bigger than the Mother's Day gift, but that was what just tipped me off, so to speak. Like, at what point, so the question is, at what point or at what age is a child able to look at their parents, both of them, and see that something is wrong or that one of your parents are hurt? Because what he does is plays a victim. He literally cries to them and he creates a facade of how he believed he experienced things. And through therapy, I have to accept that in a way. I have to be conscious of the fact that just the way I was manipulated and taken advantage of and groomed because I had a lot of potential, I have to understand that he does this to the kids because he does not know better. He needs therapy as well because he lives a life of being wrong and strong. He sees his kids every single day. He's in constant communication and contact with them, which I love that for them. I'm a mother, and it needs to be a safe space as a mother, to discuss when and you're struggling and your kids are ungrateful, because it's a reality. Throughout the videos, I definitely encourage therapy. I definitely encourage self-reflection and introspection. I chose therapy because I wanted to understand if there was any way I could have been at fault. And being that I was a minor, 15 years old, with a man, he was 32 when I met him and then turned 33 a month later. I was not prepared for that kind of relationship. So I was completely unaware that I was being manipulated, groomed, and then would be a wreck. I was not aware of that, and I believe that is what my kids are going through via their father. My thing is, they have so much more empathy for him, and when I try to explain respectfully what he did to me, it's like, girl, you should have got over that. We want a dad, and that's what I think is not fair. I think it's unfair that my kids would have rather me suffer. And then what they don't realize, I wouldn't even have been here. I'd have canceled myself.
Okay, real quick. The dynamic between a mother and a father, those two dynamics of parenting are different, completely different. And kids have a sense of direct love connections. Instead of sharing these love connections, being that the parents are not together, the kids will have a separate love connection for the parents, and it can't be brought together. We're going to break that down a little more in the morning show. You guys stay tuned.
Just got out of therapy, and she had something that was kind of profound, I think. And it's funny, it's just like a change of one word. So a lot of people know that my son decided like 3 months ago that he wants nothing to do with me. Haven't talked to him, haven't seen him since. He sent me 2 text messages in 3 months that were horrible. But anybody who's been through this, any type of parent alienation or anything like that, there's this thing that I think some of us do, at least that I do, where I have just kind of put myself in a hole and like I don't move on, because moving on comes with a level of guilt. That like, how do you move on without your kid? And, you know, family vacations and birthdays and even having fun or having moments of happiness you feel guilty about, because how can you when your kid is not here with you? So you keep yourself in this dark place and you keep yourself from moving on. And I told her, like, I just can't move on, but I want to. And in order to move on, I have to give up. And I don't have it in me to give up on my kid. And she said, Nikki, what if you just move forward and not on? On is so final. And just moving forward. And man, that changed everything. Like, I can move forward, right? I can't move on. But moving forward is a much better option. And moving forward is much better than living in this dark hole that I've been living in. And moving forward, there may not be as much guilt associated with that. So that's what I'm going to try this week, to move forward, because I don't have it in me to move on.
Parents of teens, does this sound familiar? Suddenly, nothing I do is right in his eyes. I miss that little boy who loved me and didn't see me as so flawed. It just hurts, and I never expected this stage would feel so hard. They are so belligerent towards anything that comes through me, they hate me. The harder I try, the worse it seems to make it. Or every day I wake up with a fresh new attitude, thinking this is such a nice day. Maybe it will go well. Maybe I'll go work out. But no, by 8 p.m., I'm hiding in bed with tears in my eyes, just wanting the day to end. You love your teenager so much, so of course you want to find out the mystery of how the heck to communicate with these creatures. And in an effort to do that, you take on more than your share of the responsibility in the relationship. And let's talk about your inside voice, the things you're saying to yourself. You should know better. I mean, you're the adult. Figure it out. What's your problem? It's not that hard. No one else seems to be having this problem, so this is all your fault. You broke them. You failed, and you should just know how to do this. I blamed myself when I was raising my teens all the time. I particularly blamed myself so much that I thought my oldest son, who has ADHD and autism spectrum disorder, that was my fault. That's how bad I blamed myself for messing them up and breaking them. I mean, it's not even possible. By blaming yourself, you somehow have this story that is going to motivate you to find a better solution, like get you up every day and like, well, you're just going to have to figure it out. Just figure it out. Here's the thing. You were never raised knowing how to parent a teen. I mean, if you're like me, you barely got 6 hours in the hospital about how to get the creature out of your body and keep it alive for 30 days. You sure as shoot didn't get any kind of training on how to parent a teen. So how would you know? You wanna know the worst part? When you should on yourself, by blaming and shaming, you actually take yourself out of being part of the solution. Blame and shame increase your stress response to what's already going on. Stress increases anxiety, which lowers your brain's natural access to creative thinking and finding new solutions. And that same stress makes learning new strategies, let alone implementing them, even harder. And confidence is required for resilience to keep you going to find new solutions. So all of that blaming and shaming you're doing for yourself is just tanking your confidence. It's time to stop believing that your actions directly control your teenager's emotions, a belief that was likely set up when you were young. If your parents were angry or unregulated, it was up to you to change your behavior immediately to become more pleasing so that they didn't have to take responsibility for their feelings, but they would be happier because of what you did. So you learned to try harder, do more, and be more likable because anyone being unhappy around you was your fault. Do you see how that might be showing up in your parenting now? When you take yourself off the hook for being 100% responsible for your teenager's emotions, you lift your mouth above the water just long enough to take a breath so you will lower your stress enough and actually find creative solutions and more workable, proven strategies. Being a parent in a healthy way means knowing that you are part of the solution. You are not the whole solution. It's time to take a step back and take a breath. When you continue to beat yourself up and say it's all your fault, you hold yourself hostage and make it even harder to turn things around.
Hi there. I was tagged in your video a few times, so I thought I would see if I could try to shed some light on the situation. My name is Crystal, and I am almost 57 years old, and my youngest child threatened to go no contact with me if I didn't heal my stuff. And so I know what you're going through. So you said, my oldest daughter doesn't speak to me. I'm amazed at how many parents I run into that are suffering from parental alienation. Now, I know it feels like you are suffering from parental alienation, but that whole verbiage...
Make sure you guys like and share these conversations. It can help a lot of people just seeing a different outlook and a different perspective on things.
Tells me a lot. So I'm going to explain to you how it feels on the side of the adult child. Our children have tried to talk to us a million times and it fell on deaf ears. And so they're just done talking about it anymore. So when you contact your daughter and say, I'm trying to find out why, she's like, I already told her why a million times and she didn't hear me. Now I know your initial instinct is going to be, no. She didn't tell me. I swear she didn't. I know, because I thought that too. And then I went back to my son after I started this healing journey and I said to him, did you try to tell me? He goes, yeah, tried to tell you a million times. I'm like, oh my God, why? How did I miss that? And then you said another thing that was very telling. You said, I'm not the best at relationships. So that is something that your daughter probably already knows. And then you said, however, I don't understand, and you can't fix something if you don't understand. I can't heal it if I don't know what caused it. So here's the key. It is not our children's job to tell us where we failed as parents. It's not their job. So how do you find out where you went wrong? You go to a life coach or a therapist and you say, here's a video that I did, and you show them your video. They will see stuff that you can't see, just like I'm kind of explaining right here. And then you said, I didn't speak to my mom. You know, she was very toxic and I didn't speak to my mom and maybe this is karma. It's not karma. The way you feel about your mom is probably pretty close to the way your daughter feels about you. And I know you don't understand that, but it's a truth bomb. So you admitted that your mother was toxic. So how did you escape unscathed? You didn't, right? You didn't escape unscathed. When you said, I've always felt unsupported, I would tell my mom over and over, I can't take this. And she wouldn't hear me. Flip it. Your daughter has done the same thing, exact same thing. You just didn't hear it. Then you said, as a young mom, I was a wreck. I did the best I could, yeah. But then you said, I doted on her, loved her, treated her like the princess she is. And many of us have done that with our children, right? We flipped it. We did the exact opposite, or we think we did the exact opposite of what our parents did. But when your pendulum swings this way, it's toxic. And when your pendulum swings this way, it's toxic. This is what we're all searching for and hoping for and want. Balance, okay? Then you admitted that you got into a second marriage. There was a lot of issues and you should have never married him. And then you said, I became a workaholic, addiction, I yelled. You have all the answers as to what kind of toxic behavior you have right in front of you. You just said it. You said you married somebody that you shouldn't have married. I became a workaholic. I fell into addiction. I understand. I did too. I yelled a lot. And you're like, well, maybe she's punishing me. No, she's not punishing you. Here's the hard truth. This is all about who you are now. My kids didn't like me. My kids didn't like me as a human being. They thought I was toxic, and I couldn't see it. I could not see it. Our children are not punishing us when they go no contact. They are trying to save their own mental health. Just like you said, I can't be around my mom. She's too toxic and I can't fix it and she's not listening. Your daughter is doing the exact same thing with you. Exact same thing. And I know you're going to say, wait a minute, but I'm not my mom. I didn't. But you did admit in the video how toxic you were as an adult. And if we have been brought up by toxic parents and suffered trauma as a kid, we can't outthink it. Many of us think, okay, my mom was so toxic, I'm just going to outthink it and I'm going to do something different. No, toxicity, trauma lives in our body. And we carry it in our body our entire life until we heal the original pain. You've still got it in you. You just don't see it. And now you're saying you're reaching out. Please put me in a room. Tell me what I did. I know that desperate feeling. And your daughter's going, not my job. I tried telling you before. Nope, I'm done talking about it. I am not going to talk to you about it. You need to figure it out on your own. Now, finally in the video, he said there's lots of friends going through this and I just don't understand. I do. And so let me see if I can explain it. Coffee, good. When we were kids, we didn't have anybody to talk to. We didn't understand mental health. We didn't understand emotional intelligence. We didn't understand any of those things. Heck, when we were at home, we were punished, disciplined, and told we were needed to fall in line. When we went to school, we were punished and disciplined and told we need to fall in line. Whenever we tried to get out of line, we were put back in the box, right? Do not get out of line. And we had nobody to talk to, nobody to turn to. Most of us just survived our childhoods. That's all. And then when we became parents, we thought, well, we're going to do it better. But here's where the kids know more than we know. They've been taught since very young children what mental health is, what emotional intelligence is, how to emotionally regulate themselves, what is toxic. We didn't even know that until we became adults. And our children know this stuff now. And they're looking at us and going, shit. Damn, that's my mom. And when they try to talk to us, we've got a wall up and we don't see the wall. I know that you don't see it. I get it. We are not suffering from parental alienation. That wording will keep you stuck forever. You are not suffering from parental alienation. Your child has gone no contact to protect themselves from your toxicity that you don't even see. And you said, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm going to tell you what will be the most useful for you. Take your video that you just made here into a trauma therapist or a trauma coach. I'll help you if you'd like. You can contact me. No pressure. You can contact anybody. I don't care. And show them the video. And they will break it down like I just did and take it one step at a time so that your eyes will open to your child's perspective in why they are protecting themselves from you right now. Truth be told, someone said this on my page the other day. Going no contact just means I'm happier without you than I am with you in my life. That's in essence why kids go no contact.
Okay, you guys, before we get into a deep dive on this conversation, what I want to add to this conversation is what people are not understanding too. It's just two levels of understanding. And there's an experienced mind and there is an inexperienced mind, and one is learn as they go. Your kids will be learning as they go, so their level of understanding will come from that within the mistakes they make, and one is learning more from experience. So those two dynamics can be tricky when it comes to parenting, and there's a lot more to be said about, just the connection between kids and their parents and the separate connections they might have between a mother and a father. So we'll definitely break it down on Monday's morning show, and if you guys have a different dynamic or just a different situation, send me your videos, or you can just leave me a comment, and we'll definitely get it out there to the people, and we can have these conversations to have some more healing and having people with a better understanding. Until next time, it's your boy Mickey Fenty, aka Mickey Made It. If you're new to this channel, you know what to do to this channel.